Imagine a world where nothing can disturb your peace. A world where the storm may rage outside, but within there is only calm. This is not a distant dream, it is a reality that you can create for yourself. The power to remain undisturbed, no matter what life throws at you, lies within your control. You are the master of your inner state, the architect of your emotional landscape. To master your inner state, you must first recognize the immense power you hold within. You are not at the mercy of the world around you. Instead, you are the creator of your internal environment. This realization is the foundation of all personal power. It is the key that unlocks the door to a life of peace, purpose, and poise. When you master your inner state, you control not just your thoughts and emotions, but also the way you experience the world. It's a process of transforming from being a mere reactor to becoming a deliberate creator. The first step in mastering your inner state is self-awareness. You must become intimately familiar with your thoughts, feelings, and reactions. This requires daily introspection, where you observe your inner world without judgment. What thoughts dominate your mind? What emotions frequently arise? What triggers you? By understanding these patterns, you can begin to take control of them. You will realize that your thoughts and emotions are not random, they are the result of deep-seated beliefs and perceptions about yourself and the world. Once you have developed self-awareness, the next step is to take responsibility for your inner state. This means acknowledging that you are the only one responsible for how you feel. No one and nothing can make you feel a certain way without your consent. This is a liberating truth, as it places the power back in your hands. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are the architect of your emotional landscape. By accepting this responsibility, you empower yourself to change the way you think and feel. One powerful way to master your inner state is through the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of living in the present moment, fully aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. It is about observing your inner and outer world without getting caught up in it. When you practice mindfulness, you create a space between yourself and your thoughts and emotions. This space gives you the power to choose how you respond to any situation. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can respond with wisdom and clarity. Another crucial aspect of mastering your inner state is cultivating positive thinking. Your thoughts shape your reality, so it is essential to think thoughts that uplift and empower you. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it means choosing to focus on the good, even in difficult situations. By consistently thinking positive thoughts, you create a positive inner state, which in turn attracts positive experiences into your life. Emotional regulation is also a key component of mastering your inner state. It is not about suppressing your emotions, but about understanding and managing them in a healthy way. Emotions are a natural part of being human, but they don't have to control you. When you feel a strong emotion, take a moment to acknowledge it, understand its source, and then decide how you want to respond. By doing this, you prevent your emotions from hijacking your inner state. Visualization is another powerful tool in mastering your inner state. When you regularly visualize yourself as calm, confident, and in control, you begin to embody these qualities in your daily life. Visualization helps you to mentally rehearse how you want to think, feel, and act in different situations. It prepares your mind to respond in the way you desire, rather than being swayed by external circumstances. Affirmations are also invaluable in mastering your inner state. By consistently speaking positive and empowering words to yourself, you reinforce the beliefs that support your desired inner state. Affirmations are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your mind. Over time, they grow into strong, positive beliefs that shape your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. By regularly affirming your power, peace, and poise, you build a resilient inner state that remains undisturbed by the ups and downs of life. Finally, mastering your inner state requires practice and patience. It is not a one-time achievement, but a lifelong journey. Every day you have the opportunity to practice self-awareness, mindfulness, positive thinking, emotional regulation, visualization, and affirmations. With each practice, you strengthen your ability to remain calm, centered, and in control, no matter what life throws at you. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, until it is your default way of being. To master your inner state is to master your life. It is the key to living with peace, purpose, and poise. When you control your inner world, the outer world cannot disturb your peace. You become the eye of the storm, calm and centered, regardless of the chaos around you. This is the power of mastering your inner state, and it is a power that lies within you, waiting to be awakened. Detaching from external events is an essential step in maintaining inner peace and stability. In a world filled with constant noise, chaos, and unpredictability, it is easy to become entangled in the external drama. However, true peace comes from within, and it requires a deliberate effort to separate your sense of self from the turmoil around you. Detachment is not about apathy or indifference, rather, it is about recognizing that your well-being does not have to be tied to external circumstances. The first aspect of detaching from external events is understanding the transient nature of the world around you. Everything outside of you, people, situations, and even your own body is in a constant state of change. What may seem significant today could be irrelevant tomorrow. By recognizing this impermanence, you free yourself from the need to cling to or control external outcomes. You begin to understand that nothing outside of you is permanent, and therefore it does not have the power to define your inner state. Another key to detachment is letting go of the need for approval or validation from others. Often our peace of mind is disturbed because we seek external validation. We want others to agree with us, approve of us, or acknowledge our worth. However, this need for approval puts our inner state at the mercy of others' opinions and actions. To detach, you must cultivate a deep sense of self-worth that is independent of external validation. You know that your value is intrinsic and not dependent on what others think or say about you. Detachment also involves releasing the need to control everything around you. The desire for control stems from a fear of uncertainty, but the truth is that much of life is beyond our control. When you try to control everything, you set yourself up for frustration and disappointment. Detachment allows you to surrender to the flow of life, trusting that things will unfold as they should. This doesn't mean you stop taking action or pursuing your goals. It means you do so without being attached to specific outcomes. Practicing detachment also requires you to stop identifying with your thoughts and emotions. Your thoughts and emotions are not who you are. They are simply experiences that pass through your consciousness. When you identify with them, you give them power over you. However, when you observe them without attachment, you realize that they have no control over your true self. This awareness allows you to remain centered and peaceful, even in the midst of emotional turmoil. Mindfulness is a powerful tool in cultivating detachment. By practicing mindfulness, you learn to observe the world around you without getting caught up in it. You become aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment or attachment. This detached awareness allows you to respond to situations with clarity and calm, rather than reacting impulsively. Mindfulness helps you to remain present, grounded and unshaken by external events. Another important aspect of detachment is developing a sense of inner security. When you are secure in yourself, you do not rely on external factors for your happiness or peace. You know that everything you need is already within you. This inner security allows you to navigate life with confidence and ease, unaffected by the ups and downs of the external world. You become like a tree with deep roots, standing firm and strong no matter how hard the winds blow. Detachment also involves cultivating a sense of curiosity and acceptance. Instead of resisting or fighting against what is happening, you become curious about it. You accept life as it is, rather than as you wish it to be. This acceptance does not mean passivity. It means you acknowledge reality and work with it, rather than against it. By accepting what is, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering and open yourself to the possibilities that each moment brings. In detachment, there is also a deep sense of trust. You trust in the process of life, knowing that everything happens for a reason, even if you cannot see it in the moment. This trust allows you to let go of fear and anxiety, as you know that whatever happens, you have the inner strength to handle it. You trust that life is unfolding in the best way possible for your growth and evolution. Detachment ultimately leads to freedom. When you are no longer attached to external events, you are free to live fully in the present moment. You are free to be your true self, without the need to conform to others' expectations or chase after fleeting desires. This freedom allows you to experience life with a sense of joy, peace, and fulfillment, regardless of what is happening around you. Detaching from external events is a powerful practice that leads to inner peace and stability. It is about recognizing the impermanence of the external world, letting go of the need for approval and control, and cultivating a deep sense of inner security. By practicing mindfulness, acceptance, and trust, you free yourself from the turmoil of the external world and find true peace within. This detachment is not a withdrawal from life, but a deeper engagement with it, as you navigate the world from a place of inner strength and calm. Focusing on your inner vision is a crucial step in maintaining a sense of purpose and direction in life. In a world filled with distractions and noise, it is easy to lose sight of what truly matters to you. However, when you keep your attention fixed on your inner vision, you create a sense of clarity and focus that guides your actions and decisions. This inner vision is your guiding light, leading you toward your highest potential. The first step in focusing on your inner vision is to clearly define what it is. Your inner vision is not just a set of goals or desires, it is a deeper sense of purpose that resonates with your true self. It is the image of the life you want to create, the person you want to become, and the impact you want to have on the world. To define your inner vision, take time to reflect on what truly matters to you. What are your core values? What are your deepest passions? What kind of life do you want to lead? By answering these questions, you begin to uncover your inner vision. Once you have defined your inner vision, the next step is to keep it at the forefront of your mind. This requires daily practice, as it is easy to get distracted by the demands and distractions of everyday life. One effective way to keep your inner vision alive is through visualization. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing your inner vision as if it is already a reality. See yourself living the life you desire, achieving your goals, and making a positive impact. This visualization helps to strengthen your connection to your inner vision and keeps it alive in your consciousness. Affirmations are another powerful tool in maintaining focus on your inner vision. By regularly affirming your vision, you reinforce it in your mind and create a sense of certainty that it will come to pass. Affirmations are statements that reflect your inner vision and the qualities you need to embody to achieve it. For example, if your inner vision involves being a successful entrepreneur, you might affirm, "I am a confident and capable leader, creating a thriving business that makes a positive impact on the world." By repeating this affirmation daily, you align your thoughts and actions with your inner vision. It is also important to protect your inner vision from negative influences. The world is full of doubt, fear, and negativity, which can easily cloud your vision and lead you astray. To maintain focus, surround yourself with people, environments, and resources that support and uplift you. Avoid those who bring you down or discourage you from pursuing your vision. Instead, seek out those who inspire you, believe in you, and encourage you to keep moving forward. By creating a positive and supportive environment, you protect your inner vision and keep it strong. Discipline is another key factor in maintaining focus on your inner vision. Achieving your vision requires consistent effort and dedication. This means making daily choices that align with your vision, even when it is difficult or inconvenient. It means staying committed to your goals, even when the results are not immediate. Discipline involves setting priorities and making sacrifices, knowing that every step you take brings you closer to your vision. By cultivating discipline, you build the habits and mindset necessary to turn your vision into reality. Another important aspect of focusing on your inner vision is staying flexible and open to change. While it is important to have a clear vision, it is equally important to remain adaptable and open to new possibilities. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes the path to your vision may take unexpected turns. Instead of resisting change or becoming rigid in your approach, stay open to the opportunities and lessons that come your way. Trust that these detours are part of your journey and may even lead you to a better outcome than you originally imagined. It is also essential to regularly review and refine your inner vision. As you grow and evolve, so too may your vision. Take time periodically to reflect on your progress and reassess your vision. Is it still aligned with your true self? Does it still inspire and excite you? If necessary, make adjustments to your vision to ensure that it remains relevant and meaningful. By regularly reviewing and refining your vision, you ensure that it continues to guide you toward your highest potential. In addition to visualization, affirmations, and discipline, it is important to take consistent action toward your inner vision. A vision without action is merely a dream. To bring your vision to life, you must take concrete steps toward it every day. This involves setting specific goals, creating a plan of action, and following through on it. Each small step you take brings you closer to your vision and strengthens your commitment to it. By taking consistent action, you turn your inner vision into a tangible reality. Focusing on your inner vision is a powerful practice that leads to a life of purpose, direction, and fulfillment. By clearly defining your vision, keeping it alive through visualization and affirmations, protecting it from negative influences, and taking consistent action toward it, you create a sense of clarity and focus that guides your life. Your inner vision is your guiding light, leading you toward your highest potential and the life you were meant to live. Overcoming negative thoughts is a crucial aspect of maintaining a positive and empowering mindset. Negative thoughts are like weeds that can quickly overrun the garden of your mind if left unchecked. They can sap your energy, undermine your confidence, and hold you back from achieving your full potential. However, with the right strategies, you can overcome negative thoughts and cultivate a mind that supports your growth and success. The first step in overcoming negative thoughts is to recognize them when they arise. This requires self-awareness and mindfulness. Often, negative thoughts are automatic and habitual, arising without our conscious awareness. To counteract this, practice observing your thoughts without judgment. Notice when negative thoughts enter your mind, and identify the specific thoughts that are causing you distress. By bringing these thoughts into your conscious awareness, you gain the power to address and change them. Once you have identified your negative thoughts, the next step is to challenge them. Negative thoughts are often based on false beliefs or distorted perceptions. For example, you might think, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed." These thoughts are not based on objective reality but are rooted in fear and self-doubt. To challenge these thoughts, ask yourself if they are really true. What evidence do you have to support them? Are there alternative explanations or perspectives that you haven't considered? By questioning the validity of your negative thoughts, you begin to weaken their hold on your mind. Another effective strategy for overcoming negative thoughts is to replace them with positive ones. This doesn't mean simply ignoring or suppressing negative thoughts, but actively choosing to focus on thoughts that uplift and empower you. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this," replace it with, "I am capable and can handle this challenge." By consistently replacing negative thoughts with positive ones, you create a new mental habit that supports your well-being and success. It is also important to understand that negative thoughts are a normal part of the human experience. Everyone has negative thoughts from time to time, and having them does not mean there is something wrong with you. The key is not to let these thoughts control you or define your reality. Instead of resisting or fighting against negative thoughts, acknowledge them for what they are: temporary mental events that do not have to dictate your feelings or actions. In addition to challenging and replacing negative thoughts, it is helpful to practice gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to negativity, as it shifts your focus from what is wrong to what is right in your life. When you practice gratitude, you train your mind to look for the positive aspects of any situation. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or challenges, but rather choosing to see the good in every situation. By regularly practicing gratitude, you create a mental environment that is less conducive to negative thoughts and more supportive of positive thinking. Another technique for overcoming negative thoughts is to reframe them in a more constructive light. Reframing involves looking at a situation from a different perspective, one that is more empowering and less distressing. For example, instead of thinking, "This situation is hopeless," you might reframe it as, "This is a challenging situation, but it's an opportunity for growth and learning." By reframing negative thoughts, You change the way you perceive and respond to situations, which can have a profound impact on your overall mindset and well-being. It is also important to take care of your physical and emotional well-being when dealing with negative thoughts. Your mind and body are interconnected, and taking care of one can positively impact the other. Ensure you are getting enough sleep, eating a healthy diet, and engaging in regular physical activity. These practices help to keep your body and mind in balance, making it easier to manage negative thoughts and emotions. Additionally, practice self-compassion and kindness toward yourself. Remember that it is okay to have negative thoughts, and it is okay to seek support when you need it. Mindfulness meditation is another powerful tool for overcoming negative thoughts. By practicing mindfulness, you learn to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. You become aware of your thoughts as they arise, without judgment or attachment. This detached awareness allows you to see your negative thoughts for what they are: temporary and fleeting mental events. Over time, mindfulness meditation helps to reduce the frequency and intensity of negative thoughts, and it enhances your ability to remain calm and centered in the face of challenges. It is important to surround yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with, the media you consume, and the environments you inhabit all have an impact on your thoughts and mindset. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, consume media that is positive and enriching, and create an environment that supports your well-being. By surrounding yourself with positivity, you create a mental and emotional environment that is less conducive to negative thoughts and more supportive of your growth and success. Overcoming negative thoughts is a vital aspect of maintaining a positive and empowering mindset. By recognizing, challenging, and replacing negative thoughts, practicing gratitude and mindfulness, and surrounding yourself with positive influences, you can create a mind that supports your growth and success. Remember that negative thoughts are a normal part of the human experience, but they do not have to control you or define your reality. With the right strategies, you can overcome negative thoughts and cultivate a mindset that empowers you to live your best life. Taking responsibility for your actions is a key aspect of personal growth and empowerment. When you take responsibility, you acknowledge that you are the creator of your own life and that your choices and actions have a direct impact on your experiences. This mindset empowers you to take control of your life, make positive changes, and create the outcomes you desire. Taking responsibility begins with recognizing that you are not a victim of circumstances. It is easy to blame external factors such as other people, events, or conditions for your challenges and difficulties. However, this mindset only serves to disempower you and keep you stuck in a cycle of helplessness. Instead, take ownership of your actions and decisions. Acknowledge that, while you cannot control everything that happens to you, you can control how you respond and the choices you make in any given situation. One of the most important aspects of taking responsibility is owning your mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, but not everyone is willing to admit them. Taking responsibility means acknowledging when you have made a mistake and being willing to learn from it. This requires humility and honesty with yourself and others. Instead of making excuses or shifting the blame, take ownership of your actions and the consequences they have brought about. By doing so, you open yourself up to growth and improvement. Taking responsibility also involves being accountable for your commitments and obligations. When you make a promise or take on a responsibility, it is important to follow through on it. This builds trust and integrity, both with yourself and with others. If you find that you are unable to fulfill a commitment, take responsibility by communicating openly and honestly with those involved, and take the necessary steps to make it right. Accountability is a cornerstone of personal and professional success, and it is essential for building strong relationships and achieving your goals. Another important aspect of taking responsibility is recognizing the power of your thoughts and beliefs. Your thoughts shape your reality, and by taking responsibility for them, you can create the life you want. This means being mindful of the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind and actively choosing thoughts that support your growth and well-being. It also means being aware of your beliefs and how they influence your actions. If you hold limiting beliefs that are holding you back, take responsibility for changing them. By cultivating empowering thoughts and beliefs, you take control of your life and create a reality that reflects your true potential. Taking responsibility also involves being proactive in solving problems and overcoming challenges. When faced with a difficult situation, it can be tempting to wait for someone else to fix it, or to hope that it will resolve itself. However, this mindset only leads to stagnation and frustration. Instead, take responsibility for finding solutions and taking action. This may involve seeking out resources, asking for help, or taking the initiative to address the issue head-on. By being proactive, you demonstrate that you are in control of your life and are committed to creating positive outcomes. It is also important to take responsibility for your emotions and reactions. While it is natural to feel a range of emotions in response to different situations, it is important to recognize that you have control over how you respond to those emotions. Taking responsibility means being aware of your emotional triggers and choosing how you want to respond, rather than reacting impulsively or blaming others for your feelings. This requires emotional intelligence and self-awareness, as well as a commitment to personal growth. Taking responsibility also means being willing to make changes in your life when necessary. If you are not satisfied with a particular aspect of your life, it is up to you to take the necessary steps to change it. This may involve making difficult decisions, stepping out of your comfort zone, or letting go of things that no longer serve you. Taking responsibility means being willing to do what it takes to create the life you want, even if it is uncomfortable or challenging. In addition to taking responsibility for your actions and choices, it is also important to take responsibility for your impact on others. This means being mindful of how your actions, words, and behaviors affect those around you. Taking responsibility for your impact involves being considerate, compassionate, and respectful in your interactions with others. It also means being willing to apologize and make amends when you have hurt someone or made a mistake. By taking responsibility for your impact, you build stronger relationships and contribute to a more positive and harmonious environment. Taking responsibility means being committed to continuous growth and self-improvement. Personal growth is a lifelong journey, and taking responsibility for your development is essential for reaching your full potential. This means being open to learning, seeking out opportunities for growth, and being willing to challenge yourself. It also means being patient and compassionate with yourself as you navigate the ups and downs of life. By taking responsibility for your growth, you empower yourself to become the best version of yourself and to create a life that is fulfilling and meaningful. Taking responsibility for your actions is a powerful practice that leads to personal growth and empowerment. By recognizing that you are the creator of your own life, owning your mistakes, being accountable, and taking control of your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, you take charge of your life and create the outcomes you desire. Taking responsibility is not always easy, but it is essential for living a life of purpose, integrity, and fulfillment. Acting as if nothing disturbs you anymore is a transformative practice that cultivates inner strength and resilience. By focusing on your inner vision, you align yourself with your highest potential and foster a sense of clarity and purpose. Overcoming negative thoughts, taking responsibility for your actions, and maintaining a positive mindset are all crucial components in this journey. Each of these practices empowers you to remain centered, even in the face of challenges, and to create a life that reflects your true desires and aspirations. By integrating these principles into your daily life, you develop a robust foundation that supports personal growth, emotional well-being, and overall fulfillment. What story are you telling with your life? Each day that you wake up, you are presented with two paths, one of comfort, where everything remains the same, and one of risk, where the unknown awaits. The road of comfort is appealing, safe, and familiar. But look closely and you'll see that nothing grows there. Growth, true transformation, only happens when you step beyond the boundary of what is known and dare to take a risk. Growth, in its truest sense, requires more than just action. It demands risk. Risk is not an option, but the foundation upon which all progress is built. Every transformative experience in life stems from the willingness to step into the unknown, to place yourself in a situation where the outcome is uncertain. It is in this space of uncertainty where real growth occurs. Without risk, there can be no evolution of self, no expansion of possibilities, no deepening of one's character or abilities. Think about any moment of significance in your life. It wasn't the moments when everything felt safe and secure that defined your growth. It was when you dared to leap into uncertainty. Whether it was pursuing a new career, moving to a different city, starting a relationship, or learning a new skill, these pivotal points all required one thing: the willingness to take a risk. Risk stretches you beyond the limits of what you know, opening up new doors that you never even realized existed. But why is risk so essential to growth? Because growth is an active process. It requires change, and change demands that you leave behind the old to embrace something new. The unknown is where growth lives, and risk is the key that unlocks it. You cannot grow by remaining in a space of certainty. Certainty offers predictability, but it also keeps you rooted in the same patterns, habits, and experiences. Growth is a dynamic process that flourishes only when you are willing to disrupt the status quo. Moreover, risk challenges you to confront your fears and limitations. It forces you to face the internal barriers that hold you back, pushing you beyond what you believe is possible. By stepping into risky situations, you become more resilient and capable of handling adversity. You develop new skills, gain deeper insights, and uncover strengths you never knew you had. Each risk you take sharpens your abilities and increases your capacity for greater success. Growth through risk also expands your awareness of what's possible. When you take risks, you're not just exposing yourself to potential failure, you're also opening yourself up to new opportunities that you may have never considered before. Risk has a way of pulling you out of your limited view of the world, helping you see that the boundaries you once thought existed are nothing but illusions. Risk dismantles the mental walls that keep you from exploring new horizons. In essence, risk is the foundation of growth because it propels you forward. Without it, life stagnates and progress halts. It's in the moments of uncertainty that you truly come alive, testing your abilities and pushing the boundaries of what you believe is possible. Only when you embrace risk can you experience the fullness of growth and evolution in your life. Comfort zones are the invisible barriers that keep you confined to a life of predictability. On the surface, they seem like places of safety, where nothing can go wrong, where everything is familiar and secure. But the reality is that comfort zones are deceptive. They are not truly safe. They are merely prisons that limit your potential. When you remain in your comfort zone, you avoid the risks that are necessary for growth. You stick to what you know, refusing to venture into uncharted territories. As a result, your life becomes a repetition of the same patterns, the same habits, and the same experiences. You may feel comfortable, but you are not truly living. You are merely existing within a bubble of familiarity that keeps you from reaching your highest potential. Comfort zones are limiting because they foster complacency. When you're comfortable, there's no real incentive to change or to push yourself to achieve more. You may have dreams and aspirations, but as long as you stay in your comfort zone, those dreams will remain just that, dreams. The comfort zone tricks you into thinking that you're fine where you are, that there's no need to push the boundaries of what you know. But deep down, you know that you're capable of more. The potential that lies within you is far greater than what your comfort zone allows you to express. Breaking free from your comfort zone requires courage because it means confronting the fear of the unknown. The comfort zone keeps you small because it's built on the illusion of safety. It whispers to you that if you step outside its boundaries, you'll fail, you'll be hurt, or you'll lose something valuable. But these are just fears that hold no real power unless you allow them to. The moment you step beyond your comfort zone, you begin to see that the fears you once held were nothing but illusions. In stepping out of your comfort zone, you tap into your untapped potential. You begin to realize that you are capable of far more than you ever imagined. The boundaries that once seemed insurmountable dissolve as you take risks and push yourself beyond the limits of what you thought was possible. Your potential is only limited by the boundaries you set for yourself, and your comfort zone is the greatest boundary of all. In short, comfort zones limit potential because they keep you from experiencing the fullness of life. They may feel safe, but they are not places of growth. It is only when you break free from the comfort zone that you can begin to tap into your true potential and live the life you were meant to live. The unknown is often perceived as a place of fear and danger. It's a realm where control is relinquished and the outcome is uncertain. For many, the unknown is something to be avoided at all costs. But if you truly wish to live a life of growth, fulfillment, and purpose, you must learn to embrace the unknown. It is within this space that all new possibilities and opportunities are born. When you embrace the unknown, you open yourself up to experiences that you would never encounter in the safety of the familiar. The unknown holds the keys to your greatest potential, your most profound transformation. It is a place of boundless opportunity, but only if you have the courage to step into it. The unknown isn't a void to be feared, it's a space of infinite creation. By embracing the unknown, you free yourself from the need to control every aspect of your life. That you begin to trust in the process of life itself, knowing that even though you may not have all the answers, you are always being guided. The unknown becomes a place of discovery, where you can explore new paths, learn new lessons, and grow into the person you are meant to be. Embracing the unknown requires faith, not just in the process of life, but in yourself. It requires you to believe that you have the inner strength and resilience to navigate whatever comes your way. It is this faith that allows you to step into the unknown with confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, you will grow from the experience. The unknown is not something to be feared, but something to be welcomed. It is a doorway to your greatest potential, a place where you can discover new aspects of yourself and your life. When you embrace the unknown, you allow yourself to fully live, to experience the richness and fullness that life has to offer. Life responds to boldness. Every great achievement in the world started with someone who dared to take bold action. Bold action is the catalyst that transforms ideas into reality. It's the force that propels you from dreaming about what could be to creating what will be. Without bold action, your desires remain trapped in the realm of possibility, never given the opportunity to manifest in the physical world. But once you take that leap, you activate forces far greater than yourself. These unseen forces respond to your decisiveness, aligning circumstances, people, and opportunities in your favor. To take bold action is to move with conviction, despite the uncertainty that lies ahead. It's easy to plan and envision what you want, but the moment you step forward with confidence, despite not knowing the outcome, you shift the very course of your life. Bold action requires you to trust in the process, to believe that the universe is working with you and not against you. It is this trust that empowers you to step forward when others would hesitate. When you act boldly, you declare to the world that you are ready for more, and the world responds accordingly. Bold action is not reckless, it is deliberate and purposeful. It is driven by a deep inner knowing that no matter the risks, the rewards of action far outweigh the cost of staying still. Inaction leads to stagnation, but bold action leads to the unfolding of new realities. When you move boldly in the direction of your dreams, you break free from the limitations of your current situation and open yourself up to possibilities that didn't exist before. This is because bold action has a ripple effect. One bold move can set off a chain reaction of events that ultimately leads to your desired outcome. The initial step may feel like a leap into the unknown, but once you take it, doors begin to open that you hadn't even considered. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach suddenly appear within your grasp. This is the power of bold action. It bends reality to your will, creating a new path where once there was none. Bold action also inspires those around you. When people see someone who is willing to act with courage and determination, they too begin to believe in the possibility of change. Your boldness becomes a beacon of hope, a reminder that great things are achieved not through caution but through daring. And as others are inspired by your actions, you create a ripple effect of boldness that extends far beyond your own life. Ultimately, bold action is about taking control of your narrative. It's about refusing to let fear or doubt dictate your choices. It's about realizing that the only way to create the life you desire is to step forward with courage, knowing that every bold action brings you closer to the reality you seek. The world responds to boldness, and it is through bold action that new realities are created. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is a necessary part of it. No story of achievement is complete without the presence of setbacks, challenges, and failures. These are the moments that shape you, that teach you valuable lessons, and that ultimately push you closer to your goals. Without failure, there can be no true growth, because it is through failure that you learn what works and what doesn't. Every time you fail, you are presented with an opportunity to reflect, adjust, and come back stronger. The key to understanding failure is to see it not as an endpoint but as a stepping stone. Each failure brings you one step closer to success, as long as you are willing to learn from it. Those who fear failure often avoid taking risks, choosing instead to stay within the confines of their comfort zones. But in doing so, they miss out on the valuable lessons that only failure can provide. Failure teaches resilience, persistence, and adaptability, all qualities that are essential for long-term success. When you view failure as part of the process, you begin to realize that it is not something to be feared but embraced. Each time you fail, you are refining your approach, gaining clarity on what needs to change, and sharpening your skills. Failure strips away the unnecessary, leaving only what is essential. It forces you to confront your weaknesses and strengthens your resolve to overcome them. Moreover, failure builds character. It humbles you, reminding you that success is not guaranteed, and that every achievement requires effort, dedication, and perseverance. It is in the moments of failure that you discover your true strength, the ability to keep going, even when things don't go according to plan. Failure challenges you to rise above your circumstances, to dig deeper, and to continue pursuing your goals with renewed determination. Failure is also a powerful teacher of patience. Success rarely comes overnight, and the path to achieving your goals is often filled with obstacles. But each failure along the way teaches you the value of persistence. It reminds you that success is not about immediate gratification, but about staying committed to your vision, even when the road is difficult. The more you fail, the more you develop the patience and resilience necessary to see your goals through to completion. In the end, failure is an integral part of the process of success. It is not something to be avoided, but something to be welcomed. For it is through failure that you gain the wisdom, experience, and strength needed to achieve your goals. Each failure brings you closer to your destination, as long as you remain open to the lesson it has to offer. Imagination is the spark that ignites courage. Before you can take bold action, before you can step into the unknown, you must first be able to envision what is possible. Imagination allows you to see beyond your current circumstances and into a future that has yet to be realized. It is the ability to dream of a reality that doesn't yet exist, and it is this vision that fuels the courage to make it a reality. When you dare to imagine something greater for yourself, you begin to break free from the limitations of your present situation. Imagination is the first step in creating change, because it expands your awareness of what is possible. It challenges you to think beyond the constraints of your current reality and to dream of something bigger. And once you have a vision of what is possible, you begin to gather the courage to pursue it. Imagination also helps you overcome fear. Fear is often based on the unknown, on the uncertainty of what lies ahead. But when you use your imagination to envision a positive outcome, you replace that fear with possibility. You begin to see the potential for success, for growth, for transformation. And it is this belief in possibility that gives you the courage to take risks and move forward. Imagination fuels courage by giving you a reason to act. Without a vision of what you want to achieve, there is no motivation to take risks. But when you can clearly see the life you want to create, when you can feel the excitement of your dreams becoming reality, you are driven to take the necessary steps to make it happen. Imagination gives you a purpose, and with that purpose comes the courage to act. Imagination allows you to rehearse success. In your mind, you can play out different scenarios, envisioning how things will unfold and preparing yourself for the challenges ahead. This mental rehearsal builds confidence as you become familiar with the steps you need to take. The more vividly you imagine your success, the more real it becomes, and the more courage you have to pursue it. Imagination is the foundation of courage. It gives you the vision to see beyond your current circumstances and the belief in a better future. It fuels your desire to take bold action and provides the strength to overcome fear. With imagination as your guide, you can summon the courage to pursue your dreams, knowing that what you envision can become your reality. Risk is not a gamble, it is the gateway to mastery. Each time you take a risk, you challenge yourself to rise beyond the comfort of the known and venture into the uncharted territory of growth. The more you take risks, the more you develop your skills, instincts, and understanding of your craft. Every risk you take, whether it leads to success or failure, is a step toward mastering yourself and your environment. It's not about avoiding mistakes, but about embracing the opportunity to learn from them. In the process of pursuing mastery, risks become an essential part of your development. When you stretch beyond your current abilities, you inevitably encounter challenges that test your capacity to adapt and overcome. This is how mastery is forged, not in the absence of risk, but through it. Each risk teaches you something new, revealing blind spots in your knowledge and areas for improvement. You begin to refine your approach, sharpening your skills with each attempt, until what was once risky becomes second nature. Taking risks pushes you to operate outside your comfort zone, where true growth occurs. Within the confines of safety, there is little room for advancement. But when you step into the unknown, you activate your latent potential, uncovering strengths and abilities that you may not have realized you possessed. Every time you take a leap into uncertainty, you expand your capacity to handle more complex challenges. This expansion is the hallmark of mastery, an ever-increasing ability to navigate the complexities of life with skill and confidence. Risk also reveals the limits of your current understanding. It forces you to confront the areas where you are lacking and compels you to seek new knowledge. In this way, risk acts as a mirror, showing you where you need to grow. It is only by continuously pushing against your limitations that you can move closer to mastery. The discomfort that accompanies risk is a sign that you are on the right path, stretching beyond what you know and moving toward greater proficiency. Mastery is not achieved through playing it safe. It is the result of continually stepping into the unknown, where failure and success both serve as vital teachers. With each risk, you gain experience, and with each experience, you inch closer to mastery. Over time, the accumulation of these experiences gives you a deep, intuitive understanding of your craft or field. You become more adept at navigating challenges, more resilient in the face of setbacks, and more confident in your ability to achieve your goals. Risk is also what keeps you engaged and motivated. The pursuit of mastery requires sustained effort and focus, and without the thrill of risk, it's easy to lose interest. Each new challenge presents an opportunity to test yourself, to see how far you've come and how much further you can go. Risk adds an element of excitement to the journey, keeping you sharp and fully invested in the process. It's the willingness to embrace risk that separates those who achieve mastery from those who remain stuck in mediocrity. Ultimately, every risk you take moves you closer to mastery, because it forces you to grow. It is through risk that you refine your abilities, expand your understanding, and develop the resilience needed to excel. Mastery is not about avoiding risk, but about embracing it as a necessary part of the journey toward excellence. Choosing to take no risk is the greatest risk of all. When you decide to stay within the confines of what is familiar and comfortable, you inadvertently accept the risk of stagnation. Doing nothing may feel safe, but in reality, it leads to missed opportunities, unfulfilled potential, and the slow erosion of your dreams. Every time you choose not to act, you give up the possibility of progress and growth, allowing fear and complacency to dictate the course of your life. It is easy to rationalize inaction. You may convince yourself that staying put is the prudent choice, that it's better to wait for the perfect moment or to avoid the possibility of failure. But in doing so, you fail to realize that time is passing, and with it, your opportunities to create the life you desire. The greatest risk lies not in taking bold action, but in allowing the fear of risk to paralyze you into inaction. When you do nothing, you forfeit your power to shape your future. You allow external circumstances to dictate the trajectory of your life, rather than stepping into the driver's seat and taking control. Doing nothing is not a neutral choice, it is a choice that leads to slow decline. Without risk, there is no growth, and without growth, there is no progress. Over time, the consequences of inaction compound, leaving you further from your goals and deeper in dissatisfaction. In contrast, taking risks, no matter how small, keeps you moving forward. Even when things don't go as planned, you are still making progress by learning, adapting, and growing. Each risk, even those that result in failure, brings you closer to the person you are meant to become. But when you choose to do nothing, you rob yourself of these opportunities. The longer you stay inactive, the more difficult it becomes to break free from the inertia of complacency. The fear of risk often disguises itself as a desire for security. You may believe that by doing nothing you are preserving what you already have, but in reality, you are letting life slip through your fingers. Every day that you fail to act is a day that you will never get back. The greatest risk is not in losing something you have, but in never realizing what you could have had if you had taken that first step. There is also the risk of regret. When you look back on your life, it won't be the risks you took that haunt you, but the ones you didn't take. The opportunities you missed because you were too afraid to act will linger in your mind, reminding you of what could have been. The cost of inaction is not always immediately apparent, but over time it becomes painfully clear. The greatest risk is to do nothing, because in doing nothing, you lose the chance to live fully, to explore your potential, and to create the life you truly desire. Taking risks, even small ones, is the only way to move forward. It is the only way to break free from the limitations of your current situation and step into a future that is more aligned with your dreams. The greatest risk is to do nothing because, in the end, doing nothing leads nowhere. Progress is impossible without risk. Risk is the currency you must exchange to achieve growth, change, and success. Every breakthrough, every advancement in life requires some degree of risk. Without risk, there is no movement forward, no evolution, and no transformation. To make progress, you must be willing to invest in the uncertainty of the unknown, knowing that it is through this exchange that you open the door to new possibilities. When you avoid risk, you stay exactly where you are, trapped in the confines of your current reality. Progress demands that you step into the unknown, that you trade the comfort of familiarity for the potential of something greater. It is through risk that you disrupt the status quo and create the conditions necessary for growth. Without risk, life remains stagnant, and you remain unchanged. Risk is not about recklessness, it is about strategic investment. Just as in any form of currency, you must weigh the potential return against the possible loss. But what often goes unnoticed is that the greatest loss comes from not taking any risk at all. When you avoid risk, you pay the price of missed opportunities, unfulfilled potential, and a life that remains unchanged. Risk is the price you pay for progress, and it is a price worth paying. Every major advancement in history has come as a result of risk. Those who have made the greatest contributions to the world have done so because they were willing to take risks that others were not. They understood that progress requires courage, the courage to challenge the status quo, to experiment with new ideas, and to push the boundaries of what is possible. Risk is the engine of innovation and change, and without it, progress grinds to a halt. On a personal level, risk is what propels you forward in your own life. Whether it's starting a new venture, pursuing a dream, or simply stepping out of your comfort zone, every act of progress is fueled by risk. Each time you take a risk, you invest in your future, and with each investment you get closer to the life you desire. The more risks you take, the more you increase your chances of success. Risk is the currency of progress, and without it, you cannot move forward. Progress also requires the willingness to fail. Risk and failure are intertwined, but it is through failure that you gain the wisdom and experience needed to succeed. Each time you take a risk, you gain valuable insights, regardless of the outcome. These insights are what fuel future progress, allowing you to refine your approach and move closer to your goals. Risk is the price of progress, but failure is often the greatest teacher along the way. In the end, risk is the currency of progress because it is the only way to break free from the limitations of your current situation. It is the key to unlocking new opportunities, achieving growth, and creating a future that is more aligned with your dreams. Without risk, there is no progress, and without progress, life becomes stagnant. Risk is the price you must pay for a life of purpose, achievement, and fulfillment. Risk is the doorway to discovering your true potential. If you never step outside the boundaries of what you already know, you will never uncover what you are truly capable of achieving. The very nature of risk requires you to leave behind the certainty of your current circumstances and venture into the unknown. This act of stepping into uncertainty is where growth happens, where latent potential comes to life, and where your greatest strengths and abilities are revealed. Without risk, your potential remains untapped, locked behind the safety of routine and the familiar. Achieving your true potential means going beyond what you think you can do. Often our beliefs about what we are capable of are shaped by past experiences, societal expectations, and self-imposed limitations. These beliefs act as invisible barriers, keeping us confined to a limited version of ourselves. But when you take a risk, you shatter those barriers. Risk forces you to confront your fears, challenge your assumptions, and push beyond your current capabilities. It is in those moments of uncertainty and discomfort that you discover just how much more you are capable of achieving. Risk demands that you stretch yourself. When you take a leap of faith, whether it's starting a new venture, pursuing a passion, or changing your life path, you force yourself to grow in ways you never anticipated. You tap into reserves of creativity, resilience, and determination that may have otherwise remained dormant. Only by risking can you unlock these hidden strengths and take steps toward realizing your full potential. The fear of failure often keeps us from taking risks, but failure itself is a necessary part of achieving your true potential. When you take a risk and it doesn't go as planned, it's easy to label the experience as a failure. But what if you saw failure as a stepping stone? Each failure contains valuable lessons, teaching you what doesn't work and showing you a clearer path toward what does. Risk involves the possibility of failure, but it is through that failure that you learn, adapt, and ultimately grow stronger. It's not the avoidance of failure that leads to your highest potential. It's your willingness to risk failure that enables you to achieve it. Moreover, taking risks aligns you with opportunities for success that would otherwise remain hidden. Many of the greatest breakthroughs and accomplishments in life are only accessible by stepping into the unknown. When you risk, you open yourself to possibilities that weren't available to you before. It is in this space between where you are and where you could be that your potential is activated. Risk is the catalyst that transforms dreams into reality, ideas into action, and aspirations into accomplishments. True potential is never realized in a state of comfort. If you only do what you already know, if you stay within the boundaries of what feels safe, you will never grow beyond your current self. Risk requires courage, the courage to face uncertainty, to embrace vulnerability, and to step into situations where you don't have all the answers. But it is this very courage that leads you to discover your true potential. Only by risking can you uncover the depths of your abilities and the heights of your achievements. Risk is the key to unlocking who you truly are. Without it, you remain limited by your present circumstances, unaware of what you are capable of achieving. Every time you take a risk, you peel back another layer of yourself, revealing more of your potential and more of the person you are meant to become. By risking, you embark on a journey of self-discovery, where the limits of your abilities are continually expanded. This journey is where your true potential is found, not in staying safe, but in daring to risk and allowing yourself to grow. Risk is the thread that weaves through the fabric of every story worth telling. Without it, life remains stagnant, void of the excitement, growth, and transformation that make existence meaningful. The pursuit of mastery, the desire to progress, and the journey toward self-realization all require a willingness to embrace risk. Every risk you take, whether it leads to success or failure, moves you closer to becoming the person you are meant to be. It is through risk that you sharpen your skills, test your limits, and discover what you are truly capable of achieving. Risk is not about recklessness, but about courage, the courage to step into the unknown and trust that every experience, every challenge, and every setback will ultimately serve your growth. Even when faced with failure, the lessons learned through risk propel you forward, allowing you to refine your approach and increase your chances of success. The greatest risk of all is to do nothing, for in doing nothing, you allow opportunities to pass you by, and you settle for a life that falls short of your potential. Without risk, there is no progress, no mastery, and no achievement. Risk is the currency of growth, the price you must pay to unlock your true potential. Ultimately, it is only by risking that you can discover the fullness of who you are and what you are capable of. Your dreams, your goals, and your highest potential are all waiting on the other side of risk. So embrace it, for it is the key to writing the story of your life, a story filled with growth, accomplishment, and the realization of everything you were meant to be. No risk, no story.